My friend, when we play the ukulele and or any instrument or sing, there are certain notes that we play or sing in the Western world that will help you to sing, help you to play, pick melodies, and write music. Believe it or not, it's very simple. There are 12 notes in a chromatic scale: C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, B, and then when we go to B sharp, it's going to be a C. So long story short, 12 of those. But we break it down into 7 notes diatonically, meaning do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do is a scale. That's what we're going to be talking about today. If you enjoy this channel and Music Theory 101 kind of stuffs, why don't you put a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. You can even head over to the Patreon page and become a member and help out. That'd be super groovy. Anywho, we're going to be talking about modes. When we talk about modes, we arrange them in order of lightest to darkest, meaning when we play do, re, mi, sharp 4, it gives us something called Lydian. That's a whole nother video. The other 2 major modes, one of which we're going to go into a lot of detail right here, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and do, is called a Ionian mode. The next major mode is called a Mixolydian, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, flat, and C. But to possibly know that perfectly, what we're going to want to do is talk about why. Well, C major doesn't have any sharps. It has no flats. When we say those possible 7 letters from the musical alphabet, which are A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, we get A minor, as there are no sharps or flats in the key of A minor. Both C major and A minor share the same amount of notes, 7, and they're essentially the same key. So is D minor when we play E minor, F major, G major, when we play Aeolian, when we play our diminished, a G7, it acts like a B diminished. So each one of these actually has a characteristic or a mood, depending on what notes are the half steps. That is the best possible way to explain modes that I've found. When I talk about modes, yes, I teach them like any other teacher. We talk about them through the eyes of C. Doesn't mean we can't talk about it through the eyes of D either, but D has 2 sharps, opposed to C, which has none. So when we play D, it has the sharp from G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. When we go to D, we retain the F sharp, as does every key. It takes that 7th, which is the T, do, or the T, do, T, do, T, do. It goes right back to the 1. Well, in the case of D, it's C sharp, because it's the note right before D. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. However, when we're playing something like D Ionian, it's the same modus or the same scale for every single one. You'd essentially be doing something called tonicification on the 1, meaning every chord in the key of C can be tonicified to be a major. C major, D major, E major, F major, G major, A major, B major, C major. But life and music are boring if there is no negativity, no yin and yang, no sadness, no melancholy for extreme happiness. So check out the other videos which talk about the mood setters, these modes. Today, I'm gonna talk about C major. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, the 2 natural half steps, semitones or minor seconds, all the same word for the same function, the smallest distance in the Western ear is a half step. The natural half steps in the key of C, no matter how you play the scale, C, D, E, is between E and F. Whenever you do these 2 notes, it shall always be E to F. E sharp is an F. F flat is an E. When we play our B, a B sharp is a C note. A C flat is a B note. There is not a difference. These are called enharmonic equivalences. Might be a fun. When we do this, it allows us to see that all notes have 2 names. Even if we go and stretch it, like say C, C sharp, C double sharp, C double sharp is still a D. We're just taking 2 of those minor seconds and smoosh them together. Again, if this is just way over the top of your head, that's all right. We're going to talk about how to use our mode over the top of something. If we're in the key of C major and somebody's jamming out and they're like, I've got a C to an F, that F goes to a G, G gallo is back to the C, That is one of the most famous, most popular, and most used progressions in all of music throughout history. Might be at that. So when we're playing the 1 chord, 1, 2, 3, the 4 chord, and then the 5 chord, we are playing a 1, 4, 5 progression, onto which if you want to rock out, you can play any of the notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, over any of those. Here's why. When you do that, you'd be playing F major, but F major wouldn't be using the mode of Ionian. It would be using its Lydian, F, G, A, B natural. The whole purpose of Lydian is to raise the 4th scale degree, do, re, mi, fa, do, re, mi, fa. C Lydian has an F sharp, which means in the key of G major, G, A, B, C, the 4th scale determines what that modus is. Key of C, C, D, E, F. Well, if we play a C major scale from F, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, it might sound odd in the beginning, but the idea is it lightens the F. Therefore, you have a lighter sounding mood. Now, the whole idea behind our modus is whatever that note is that's changed, that's kind of the note that I like to teach to use. So if we're playing in the key of C, we're doing a C, F, G. We can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. The only note in the key of C that is not part of this C, F, and G, well, as we aforementioned, G major has an F sharp. When we drop that F sharp down to an F in the key of G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, we're not playing the F sharp as the major 7th, but now as the minor 7th. That opens up the F sharp for not being the F sharp, but now flattening a minor 2nd, making it the minor 7th. Therefore, when we play like a G7, that's what we'd be utilizing. When we're playing the F, we'd be playing F Lydian. So the 3 modes you'd be playing over the top of a 1, 4, 5 progression, even though you don't think about it when you're doing it, because you practice the practice of practicing. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. C major. So what's the half step? B to C. E to F. After that, it's really onus is on you to start doing patterns like C, D, E, C, D, E, C, D, E, C, D, E, C, D, F, E, C, D, F, E, C, D, F, E, G. Ha, 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 ha. This is how music works. When you practice your own melodies, E, F, G, C, C, A, E, F, G, C, A, D. You start writing your own melodies, and you will start hearing this process in all your favorite music. If you want to do music analysis, which means you find a song you like, you're like, what key is this in? You utilize all these steps. When you find the tonic or the root, tonicify, see if it's a major. If it's not a major, it's a minor. If it's not C or C minor, move that up. C major might go to C sharp. It could be a half step above or half step below. But being able to move your chords everywhere on the fretboard, you don't need to know what everything is in the beginning. That comes with time and practicing. The idea is if you have a keen way of practicing, you will cut months, if not years, off of your practice time and your full total enjoyment. And isn't that really what we're shooting for, folks? Just the bee's knees. If you enjoyed this, thumbs up, put something cool in the comments section, and subscribe. Visit Patreon. Why don't you? But surely, subscribe to be.